Hi there, my name is Elizabeth and I'm a professional writing tutor for the UNT Dallas Learning Commons. Today, I'm going to share with you 5 tips for writing a personal statement. Before we get started, let's define personal statement. A personal statement is an essay usually written as part of a graduate program application in which you introduce yourself in narrative form. A personal statement demonstrates who you are, your interest and experience in the field of study, and why you are a good fit for the program. Most personal statements should be no longer than 2 pages single-spaced, but always check your application requirements for more specific guidelines. Occasionally, your instructions may provide a specific prompt or details of what they are looking for, but most of the time, you are simply instructed to write a personal statement. And if you're like most potential graduate students, you might wonder where to begin and what the heck you're supposed to write about. So let's discuss 5 tips for writing a personal statement. The first tip is to take time to brainstorm. This is vital when you write a personal statement because there is no one correct way to write it. There are so many different ways to approach and organize a personal statement. So it's important that you take some time to consider questions like these. Why are you interested in this field of study and this degree, and how did your interest develop? Is there an interesting story you can share about your journey? What are some of your long-term goals, and where do you want this degree to take you professionally and personally? What is unique about this particular school or program that makes you want to attend? Which professors are you interested in studying under, and why? What are your research interests? What courses or features of this program excite you the most? Why would you be a good fit for this program? How would your unique professional and personal experiences add value to the program? You'll find these questions listed in the description for this video. Feel free to copy and paste them into a document and start brainstorming. Jot down whatever ideas come to mind. Once you have some ideas on paper, you can start writing and organizing. The second tip is to start your essay with an engaging story that's relevant to your program of study. Although it is important to directly state your interest in the specific program you're applying for, you don't have to make that your first sentence. Consider beginning your essay with a story that will capture your reader's attention, make them feel connected to you, and understand something about your passion or experience for the field. Don't take up too much space with this. A short paragraph will do. And be intentional and choose a specific story. Avoid long descriptions and timelines of your whole life story. Brainstorm stories that demonstrate your interest in the field of study, your relevant skills or experience, or something valuable you've learned related to this field. You can draw on educational, professional, or personal experience. Personally, I've read many compelling personal statements by students entering the medical field who started their essay with an engaging story about their own journey with illness, personally or with a family member. What are the unique stories in your life that motivate you to the career path you're pursuing? Let's look at this example taken from the Writing Center at the University of Connecticut. In this example, this pharmacy school applicant starts the essay with a descriptive and engaging story of observing a doctor's interaction with a muscular dystrophy patient. It reads, I watch intently as Dr. Whitaker winces with reservation. Palms quivering, the patient's 2 struggling hands are the first to outstretch. In a feeble attempt to stand, the young boy, laying prone, inches his grip toward his left thigh. He slowly propels himself upright with the waning strength of his girdle, while his younger, unafflicted sister clenches at their mother's leg. One last thrust, and the boy finally stands erect. His cheerful smile of triumph almost negates the impending diagnosis. Gower's sign positive. He will need a wheelchair before his 10th birthday. He has already asked for one with flame decals. Then the writer discusses the need for research on muscular dystrophy and how this experience has guided his research interest as a prospective pharmacy student. This is a good example of one way that you can use a story to draw your reader in while presenting relevant information that connects to your goals. To read the entire essay, Click on the link to this example in the video description below. The third tip is to research the program you're applying to. It's important for you to articulate in your personal statement what distinctive features about this program interest you the most. What professors do you want to study under? The department website often has a list of each faculty member and a bio with their research interests and professional experience. How might working with these faculty members be helpful to your future research? Does this program have a specific focus that aligns with your goals? For example, in the field of English, there are graduate programs with different focuses, such as literature, composition, creative writing, English education, linguistics, etc. So indicate how this program's focus is relevant for you because of your career interest. What program features would benefit you? For example, some programs have a more flexible schedule that allows you to take some online and hybrid classes. Some programs allow you to gain experience and a stipend as a teaching or research assistant. Some programs allow you the option to study or work abroad. Some programs include unique internships or partnerships. What is special about this program? Now, it's important to note that in some cases, you might write a personal statement as part of a general application that goes to multiple institutions. I found this to be the case when I've worked with students applying for pharmacy school. If that's your situation, you wouldn't include any of this in a general personal statement, but I still recommend doing this research to help you narrow down a program if you are accepted to more than one. The fourth tip is to write multiple drafts. Although it would be nice to sit down for a few minutes and write a personal statement and be done with it, in reality, it can be difficult to figure out exactly what you want to say and how you want to say it. The personal statement is often a very important part of a graduate application, so it's good to give yourself plenty of time to write multiple drafts. Don't feel constricted to a particular organization. Play around with your paragraphs to find the most compelling and logical way to organize your ideas. My recommendation is to make a story part of your introduction and to then integrate a direct statement of interest in the program early on in the essay. And certainly, you'll want a conclusion that wraps everything up. But how you organize the middle is really up to you. You might try reading your paper aloud multiple times, reordering the paragraphs each time to see what sounds best. You'll also want to revise to ensure your essay is clear, concise, and free of typos or grammatical errors. And remember, you can always ask for help, which leads to the fifth and final tip: seek feedback from multiple sources. Specifically, I recommend getting feedback from these 3 sources. Make an appointment with Career Services. They specialize in preparing you for jobs and graduate school, and they can provide you with helpful feedback and resources. For more information, you can visit the Career Services website listed in the description of this video. I also recommend that you seek feedback from a professor in your field. Sometimes there are specific things to include in a personal statement that someone in your field can tell you about. Remember that your professors have not only written their own personal statements in the past, but likely have read personal statements from students and can give you insider tips. Finally, make an appointment with a writing tutor in the Learning Commons. Our tutors can look over your personal statement to first help you with the content and organization if you need it, and then you can make an additional appointment for help with grammar and final reviews. For more information about our tutoring services, visit our website, learning.untdallas.edu. To summarize, here are our 5 tips for writing a personal statement. Brainstorm. Start with a story. Research the program. Write multiple drafts. And seek feedback. I hope this video was helpful to you. If you check out the video description below, you'll find the brainstorming questions and personal statement intro example I mentioned earlier, the website for Career Services in the Learning Commons, and some additional resources to help you write your personal statement. Happy writing!